Did altcoins just give us their final and last chance at making life-changing generational wealth? I guess the question you're probably asking yourself is, should we panic right now? And I'm going to be here to answer this question for you all, friend to friend, brother to brother, as if you were sitting opposite to me right now in real life, right? Forget the whole YouTube BS side of things. Let me just tell you how it is exactly, okay? Now, before I get into this, and I want to start on CoinMarketCap, by the way, because while this is a cliche place to start any crypto video, there is a very important indicator I have to show you all here before we even begin. But before we do that, all I ask is if you do find yourself enjoying this video all, and you want to say a big thank you for bringing this content to you, drop down there right now. It takes 2 secs and give me a like. Believe it or not, it does go a very long way to support all I do over here. And hell, even if you want to, right, if you're someone who really wants to take this stuff seriously, go and give me a subscribe down below so that you can, of course, achieve your crypto goals. Now, yes, before I continue, I probably sound a bit off right now, and I probably am not as, I guess, enthusiastic vocally because I have just come off about 6 days being extremely sick from coming back from Dubai. I caught some pretty bad illness, so I'm still getting back into it now. But I thought, look, I have seen from the sidelines the chaos, the mania made from nothing more than a little bit of, I guess, FUD in the markets, right? Yes, there are some macroeconomic things happening right now that are a pretty good reason for people to be a little bit panicked in the crypto space. After all, what's the first thing people do in their portfolio when they think, oh my God, something might actually spur up here or something might happen causing a massive economic downturn, either, locally in terms of a large, country like America or Australia or Europe somewhere, or whether it's a global thing? Well, they're going to sell their most volatile asset class, which of course comes to crypto. Might even sell their stocks too. So of course, this is part of the reason why I think people need to wake up and realize while these ETFs are a net positive thing, that is for 100% sure, these ETFs can also, well, not can also, they do also prevent some sort of flaw being created, because people have this thing in their mind where, these ETFs, they're never going to be sold. People that buy these things are holding on for dear life forever. Well, no. Okay, these ETFs will be sold just as quickly from regular mom and pop, people and places when there is some sort of negative news that is associated with crypto or the larger market, okay? So I'm not here to talk about that at all. I'm just here to tell you all that, yes, we're going to have some crashes in crypto, and yes, we might have some crashes that might fall a lot lower than what you might anticipate, even with the factored in ETFs, alrighty? So yes, institutions are buying these, institutions don't sell as easily, so that is definitely a given as well. There's definitely, more sides than one to be talked about here. But why I'm starting on CoinMarketCap and how this is going to kind of merge into possibly the altcoins giving our last chance here, which can I just first of all say that I think is utter BS. I think anyone here, any YouTuber should be ashamed of themselves making a video telling you all why this might be the beginning of the end for crypto. If you've heard anyone say that shit, they might be an oracle. Maybe they get lucky. I highly doubt it though. I think that they're absolutely bonkers for scaring you out of your positions. We've come this far, and as you'll see with some charts in a second, to sell now is borderline psychopathic, right? Now, I understand if the money you are selling is money that you can't afford to lose, that should never have been a thing you should ever invest in the crypto to begin with. So that's first of all your own fault. And yes, you should take that on the chin, because as they say time and time again, don't invest money you can't afford to lose. I think we all secretly do, but what comes first is a rainy day account. What comes first is something that you can fall back on in real life. Your health, your life matters more important than this sort of stuff. But let's kind of stray away from that really quickly here and get over the whole escapade regarding influencers trying to scare you and make you sell. I want to just point us out here and just say, guys, with the fear and greed index, right, we are now at a score of like in the 50s, right, 55, 57. Only about a month or so ago, we were quite literally in the 90s, This is a perfect indication of people's mentality, because what people ultimately end up doing in crypto, and you might find yourself, this is a very important lesson to be learning now, not after the cycle, by the way, is you'll buy an altcoin because of the price, so you affiliate quality with price. What you should be doing is affiliating quality with the fundamentals, okay? So fundamentals on a crypto project is how likely is it to perform well in this cycle? I'm not going to go over it. I'm too damn sick to talk about fundamentals right now. Matter of fact, you've got a better billion videos on my channel and an hour and a half individual video talking about this. So I'm not here to preach about fundamentals. But I think you're crazy and you should learn from this. If you've bought altcoins in the last month based on this massive price run up, right, in the high fear, in the high greed area rather, based on just the price. Oh, H-bar has pumped up to 20 cents. I'm going to buy some H-bar at 20 cents. I've been holding off now, not buying it down here at like 6 cents, 7 cents, 8 cents, but I'll happily buy it 20 cents because look at this amazing news about BlackRock. And then when it drops 50% because the community misunderstood the news, about that, it wasn't fun. It was just, unfortunately, misunderstanding. All right, there's some other news regarding that as well I'd like to talk about in a separate video. Then what happens? You sell because, oh my God, the price is going down. Bad project. You see what I'm saying? So please, just if you look at a project, you've done your research and you can objectively say this project is quality, it should do well, and you want to put your money where your mouth is, then you should get in the project when it's low. If it's pumping and you're getting that feeling of, I'm going to miss out, if you literally have that thinking in your brain, you're buying based on fear, you're buying based on FOMO, and you shouldn't do that because, again, that's all built on price. It goes down, you want to sell, all right? I've seen a lot of people recently in the comments of some of these videos. I've, browsed my channel, hit the comment section and had a look at some of these people. Can you make a video on this? Can you make a video on that? I want to sell my back. I don't feel confident in the coin anymore. I'm just like, you've got to really do your research first. You got to make sure that if you go beneath your cost basis, if you go beneath the money you've put in and you go underwater, you're okay with that. You want to buy more. And I can share with you an example regarding a project here soon. Now, this is the total 3 crypto market cap. So this excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum. And look, over the last couple of weeks, we had a pretty severe crash. I mean, the crash that people are crying about now barely was a crash at all, right? It was like maybe 10%, if that? Okay, not much. And the larger one we had recently was about 25%, okay? So it was quite substantially larger. But this is very, very healthy, guys. When we look at the crashes in crypto, a crash is something that falls like maybe 40% or more, around there, okay? A correction is, I believe, anything less than that. It sounds a bit crazy, right? So you're saying, 30% is a correction? Well, technically, yes. In crypto, it really is a correction. And corrections are healthy. These happen periodically in a run-up. Okay, in a much larger move, we might have a more substantial so-called correction. Okay, but in something like this, you can have smaller corrections to help sustain a much larger move. This isn't just a single event. This doesn't happen in just one cycle, right? This has happened every single cycle in every single market before this. You can see here back in the last cycle on that massive leg up. And by the way, this leg, you see here, this massive move where we've got 125 billion market cap up to like 1 trillion market cap over here for the, altcoins. This is about to happen again here very soon for us in this cycle, okay? Maybe not a 10x move like this was, but around that, maybe a 5x to an 8x, okay? But these happen, right? 30% back over here. And you can argue, look, down here, look at this. You're at 25%. You have even larger ones as well. So it might be about 35%. And of course, then you have the much more substantial ones, which you could, again, call a so-called crash, if you will, okay? But nevertheless, if you don't have these and you just had a massive price gouge upwards, right? The price just absolutely steamrolls up and barely even goes down at all along the way, well, then you can expect a larger correction to happen, borderline crash, right? This is what happens to healthy cool-off, but you'd much rather much smaller ones to get into these projects rather than one big scare, in my personal opinion. Everyone's different, of course. And I just want to zoom out even further because when in doubt, zoom out. And I just want to remind you all that where we are right now, again, we're at the all-time high of the crypto market, okay, where we were basically in the last cycle. Now, this is the global market cap, so it's not going to show exactly like it would with Bitcoin like over here. But what this tells us is that we have around about a 4x or around there to still go in terms of the overall growth of the whole crypto market. We went up from this point in time about a 5.5x in terms of the overall size of the market, again, from this point in time. But what makes me even more bullish at this point in time is the fact that we've hit the all-time high well before we were supposed to, all right? We don't typically have the all-time high hit this early on, at least for the price of Bitcoin, until like a month or 2 months after the Bitcoin halving, which we hit like a month or two before the halving. So we might consolidate over here for the next month or two still, but I'm just here to remind you all, do not panic. I think based on everything I've seen so far, we can expect a bear case of 5, an average case of 8, and a bull case of 12 trillion to occur in this cycle. Now, mind you, we're way down here, all right? So this would mean Bitcoin's price would be roughly in the realm of these numbers, considering that Bitcoin has about 50% market dominance of the entire market, which isn't guaranteed as well. I think if there's going to be a cycle that this breaks away from, it could be this cycle. These ETFs have been a wild card, but definitely could happen this cycle. So nevertheless, I think that when we're looking at these predictions, it's actually a lot more bullish than what I expect myself. You know, some of these guys in the comment sections, and be very careful of reading the comments down below, are from honestly people who I don't want to go ahead and say is uneducated, because that's taking a pretty severe assumption. I don't like telling people. I've never been the person who like to say someone's stupid. That's, I think, a very harsh word to say, alrighty? But people that, I guess, lack the deep research into crypto, and they'll be like, well, H-bar won't hit 20 cents. H-bar won't hit 10 cents. You know, I saw this comment recently, touching on a video I actually made, where someone said, hey, this YouTuber said H-bar won't hit 10 cents, and it's been at 10 cents for quite a while now. Matter of fact, it hit 20 cents. So, you know, you have the people out there that are going to scare you and trick you without actually knowing it into thinking something different than what you may have done your research on yourself. Definitely these comments help bring people back to reality, but most of the time they scare people. So all I'm trying to say here is when you're looking at some of these videos and when you're doing your own research, zoom out. Zoom out of times like these. And no, altcoins aren't going to zero unless World War III breaks out. Unless the stock market drops 20, 30% tomorrow, then we're going to be fine, all right? I don't expect the stock market to crash anything near that until 2026 to 2028, in that middle ground due to the housing crisis. Not just me. Don't take this from good old no BS crypto, all right? At least I hope those words come before no BS crypto in your vocabulary. Alliance Bernstein over here, okay, says Bitcoin was going to hit all-time highs way back in January, okay, this year, which obviously has already almost come true. These guys, by the way, have almost $1 trillion in assets under management. Van Eck, these guys have about $100 billion in assets under management, so Bitcoin could possibly hit 100K by December. Bitwise and Spot ETF manager here for Bitcoin says 80,000, and Bitfinex says about a global market cap of 3.2 trillion this year. So they're all pretty much agreeing with one another. That is all speaking about an $80,000 Bitcoin or more. And to their surprise, I'm assuming we are almost there already. All right. So I just, again, please guys, just, you know, and you might be thinking, oh, you're repeating yourself in this video, like you're going on and on. I get it. But I'm going on and on because people just don't seem to understand this, right? And I get it when it's like your full-time job and this isn't what you do, and we're all human. We do feel for these emotions, okay? We do like to go with the herd. That's why kids pick on kids for, you know, standing out. Kids that are different in school, they're bullied and picked on, and we're always told to go with the herd. It's always a safe thing. It's a part of our monkey brain. We're always ingrained with, you know, fitting in with the crowd, being part of the pack. But ultimately, right, in this case, it can lead you astray. The pack, understand this, loses more money in this market, right? That pack, that 90%, lose money. And I don't want the majority of my dedicated viewers to be part of that pack. I want us to be that 10%, maybe even 5% who make a lot more money. All right. So all I'll leave you on here is just one more thing, and I'll say this right now. Again, I showed you this chart before, is as I said before, you know, we do have these consolidation periods at this time typically. And again, once you zoom out and you see this, you begin to realize, you can see the massive drops that we've had over here in the 2018 cycle. And actually, a lot of people have agreed with me on this. This current cycle we're in right now has a lot of the similarities, more so with the 2018 cycle than it does with the last cycle we've had, based on some of the things that we've seen so far. So yes, you can see here some of the massive dips we had back then. We didn't have quite a large dip back here. And you can see here, we're basically in between these 2 points. But kind of if I zoom in a little bit here, you can see the dips were a little bit more intense than what they kind of look like initially, right? If we kind of zoom in here and we have a look at the, you know, price drop, I mean, that was about 17%, which again, mind you, isn't too far off where we are right now. You can see that's about 17.5% drop, which again, I just want to remind you, isn't too far off where we have kind of fallen ourselves in this current dip. If I kind of zoom this in, it's actually basically the same, right? It just looks more severe up here because we haven't had that massive sort of, next wave up like this, which would obviously skew this, make it look smaller. So, yeah, guys, please just be careful out there. Don't listen to comments. No, altcoins haven't had their last chance. This isn't a reason to panic. I spoke about a coin earlier on that I was going to mention to you all. There's a coin I'm down in right now being Wormhole, right? My average buy-in is like 87 cents and the price is about like 60 cents right now. I'm down like $6,000, all right, just on that alone, which mind you is like 1/3 of my position. And I'm not panicking because I know that 80 cents will get my multiples. I will make my money on that coin. I'm not concerned. A lot of my coins, I'm still down on the average buy-in. Render is a prime example of this, but again, I'm comfortable with the project. I know it's going to do well. It's a matter of time, and the price I've bought in at will achieve my goal. Okay, that's all you have to do in this game. Get your money and run, and you must run, I'll tell you right now. Thanks all. Talk to you all soon. Take care.